To muffle or not to muffle? That is the question. So if you just hang out for a few minutes, we'll talk about some scenarios where you probably do want to muffle your drums, and then maybe some scenarios where you might not want to muffle the drums. Hey YouTube, what's up? I'm Clint, aka CC Drums. And in this video, I want to talk about drum muffling. There's not really much information on muffling drums out there, so I just wanted to touch on a couple things that might help you out in the future with your playing endeavors. So I think part of being a good drummer is being able to get a good sound in any situation that you come across. And sometimes as your playing career kind of develops and you start playing in different scenarios, you're inevitably going to be asked to muffle your drums, or having some kind of a muffling device put on your drums to help you get a better sound in whatever situation you're in. So just to be clear, a drum is designed to resonate. That's what drums are supposed to do. They resonate. That's where you get your pitch, that's where you get your tone, your presence of the drum is when it resonates. But there's a difference between resonance and maybe excess sustain or weird overtones and things like that. And usually 90% of the time, tuning, if you know how to tune, if you're a good tuner, tuning your drums in certain ways can eliminate a lot of those problems. But sometimes, no matter what you do with tuning and mic placement and different things like that, it just doesn't work and you have to end up using some kind of a muffling device. So there will be some scenarios where drum muffling is going to be a valuable tool that you can use to help you get a good sound in the situation that you're in. So for example, let's say that you are playing live in a club somewhere and your drums are all mic'd up and the sound guy says to you, hey, your floor tom's kind of sustaining a little bit too long. I don't have any noise gates or anything. Can you tame that down a little bit? What are you going to do? Well, in that situation, if tweaking the tuning doesn't help, if that doesn't really work out, and the mic placement, if you move it around a little bit and it still doesn't work, you're going to have to resort to some kind of a muffling device. So in that scenario, maybe throwing some cotton balls in your floor tom to kind of rest on the resonant head to keep it from resonating so long. Or maybe it's an issue with the top head, putting some gaff tape on there or a little bit of moon gel or something similar on there will take care of the problem, and that's fine. Maybe your snare drum has like a high-pitched overtone to it and you just can't get rid of it with tuning. So in that case, a little bit of muffling will probably go a long way in helping you get a good sound out of your snare drum. Also, another scenario is, say a producer or a songwriter has a certain sound in mind for your drums and they want that dead 70s sound. Again, a muffling device of some kind just to get that sound is appropriate in this situation. You can do the Ringo thing and throw some tea towels over your toms and get a sound that way, or whatever you need to do to get that sound, but muffling in this case would be appropriate. Or maybe you're someone that just likes a dead drum sound, that doesn't want all that resonance and wants a focused sound. And there's nothing wrong with that. Any kind of usable sound is valid. Whatever works and sounds good to you, that's the way to go. With that being said, there are some situations where you don't want to muffle. One of those being trying to get a big sound. If you're trying to get a big sound from your kit and you want a big, loud, explosive sound with lots of tone, lots of resonance, then you probably don't want to muffle. So there's another video on YouTube by a guy named Simon Phillips, great drummer, and he does a video on getting a big sound, and he really explains it well as to how he gets a big sound and what he does and doesn't do and why. If you have a chance, check that out. It's pretty cool. If you have a chance to check out some of my drumming videos on my channel, you'll notice that I don't use any muffling on my snare drum or toms or anything. And it's not really a problem. I can reproduce that through a PA system. I've done it all my career. I can record with it that way. It's really not an issue. But that's the kind of sound that I want, what I like, and what I'm used to. So if you want a big sound, you probably don't want to muffle very much, or at the very minimal amount. Another scenario where you probably don't want to muffle your drums at all, or very, very, very little, is if you're playing acoustically somewhere. So say you're playing a rock gig, or you're playing a country gig, or you're playing a jazz gig, and you want your drums to be heard by the audience, and you want them to project out to them. If you have your drums all muffled up and taped up and have big pillows in your bass drum and things like that, when you get out front of the kit about 10 or 15 feet out in front of it and listen to the drums, all you're going to hear is the attack. You're not going to hear any tone whatsoever. The drums aren't going to project. They're going to sound small and you're just not going to sound as good as what they could. So in order to get that sound out there to the audience, you really need to just let them be wide open, let them sing, especially the toms. Just let them sing out and have all the tone and resonance, because all that extra tone and resonating frequencies is just going to get eaten up by the overall sound of the band, and by the time it reaches the audience, it's going to sound great. So that's something that I learned a long time ago, and I've seen it happen over and over and over again with younger drummers that don't really know how the sound is perceived by the audience, and they have their drums all taped up and they don't sound good. So word to the wise is, if you're playing something like that in an acoustic gig, just let the drums sing, let them be wide open, tune them as well as you can, and you'll be much better off in the long run. Lastly, if you are going to use muffling, just use just enough to take care of the job. A lot of times I see drummers will have a whole pillow inside their bass drum with some blankets or something like that. And yes, it does the job, it muffles the drum, but they could probably get away with half of that or less and still get the same effect of what they're looking for with a lot less muffling. Same with, your toms or something like that. I've seen guys have, paper towels folded over and cloth hankies folded over with duct tape on the drums, and the same size cloth on the 16-inch drum is on the 10-inch drum too, and it's just too much. You can use a lot less muffling and get the job done. So be conscious of how much muffling you're using when you do use your muffling on your drums. Sometimes you don't need nearly as much as what you think you do. Just a little bit can sometimes go a long way. Something else that muffling does when you do muffle your drum is it reduces some desirable frequencies as well. So if you're playing mic'd up or you're in the studio or something like that, and you muffle your drum and you eliminate some of the frequencies that you kind of wanted in there, you're able to put them back in again with some EQ and things like that. But when you're playing live, you can't really do that. So you want to make sure that, if you are going to be playing live and you want those drums to project, to just use either no muffling or as little as possible to try to get the whole drum sound and all of its glory out there to the audience. So that about wraps it up for this video on drum muffling. I hope you found it useful. I wish I would have known some of this information when I was younger and saved myself a lot of money on duct tape and paper towels. So again, if you like this kind of content and you're interested in drum sounds and drum tuning and concepts like that, please subscribe. I'm going to be trying to put out a lot of information here about those kinds of things and give you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to help your drumming life be a lot easier. So until next time, take care, keep on banging them skins. See you then.